So yeah, that's what the course is all about. Okay, first admin, then development, and in between I will be going to provide you assignments. And after each class, whatever we have discussed, I will be providing you with the notes of that. Okay, so that you can revise it on your own. Like once this session gets over. So this session, ideally, I will say it is around 1 hour. So if it extends to 1.5 hours, is it fine with you all, or you want to constrict to 1 hour only? Just wanted to know.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
fine with.
Okay, because sometimes you know what happens once I'm teaching one topic, what will happen is it might go a bit extended if I have to explain it a bit more, right? So that might happen. Just a heads up. Okay. Okay, let's start. Okay, first we will know what is cloud computing. Before we know Salesforce, we have to know first what is cloud computing. Okay, so cloud computing in Salesforce. Let's go by the definition what is written here. Cloud computing is a way to access information and applications online instead of having to build, manage, and maintain them on your own hard drive or servers. It's fast, efficient, and secure. Okay. So what does this mean? It means basically cloud computing is a, like, think of it in terms of your let's think of it as a supercomputer. Okay, a supercomputer. Let's say in your home you have a computer and you have a hard drive associated with it. Okay, hard drive associated with it, and that hard drive has a lot of space in it. Okay, let's say billions and billions of data it has. Okay, space in it. Now you have shared that hard drive over internet with the users. Let's say you have created a website and that website is being shared with the users. Okay, users in the sense within over the internet, anybody can log in and use your hard drive to store their information, and you're taking some kind of a rent from it. Okay, I have mentioned in my demo class as well. So it's basically more of like a, you can think as an example as a Google Drive. Okay, so in Google Drive, so what we generally do, once we sign up as a Gmail account, we will have a certain amount of space, around 2 GB, to upload our documents and store it, right? So that is provided by Salesforce as a free service. But after 2 GB, if we have to utilize more space, then we have to utilize it by paying certain amount of money, right? So at the end of the day, what is basically happening in the backend? Google has its own server. Server means in Salesforce in IT, it is basically like a simple hard drive. You can think of it as a simple hard drive with a lot of space in it. And so they have like, as an end customer, when we are enabling the Gmail account, we are getting a small portion of that hard drive. Okay, and we are storing our information there. Now it is something like the security part, right? So since this Google has its own secure parameters, and also that will be taken care automatically. Second part is, since we are storing it over the internet, we can access our information, like the documents whatever we have uploaded, from any system, any laptop, any computer, anywhere, any tabs, anywhere. Okay, right? So because that is on the computer and we can access it via the internet, which over any device which supports the internet and the documents. Okay, that is it. So this is just overview of the what is cloud computing. So cloud is nothing but the servers which we have, the hard disk which is there, stored somewhere in one part of the world, that may be in USA, that may be in India, that may be in China, anywhere it might be, and we are just accessing those data. Okay, yeah. So that is cloud computing. Now coming to the second part. So once we are familiar with the cloud computing, next comes the deployment models of cloud computing. So deployment models, let's go by the definition once more. The Salesforce cloud deployment model. It might not be specific to Salesforce, it is generic. Okay, so just ignore the Salesforce terminology for now. The cloud deployment model specifies the specific type of cloud environment to be utilized based on ownership, size, access, and the nature of and the purpose of the cloud environment. So what does it basically means? So deployment model basically determines the type of access to the cloud. Okay, that is the location of the cloud. And the advantage of like this cloud technology, right, should be categorized based on the needs of the individual who use them. So let's say if I am using the cloud computing for certain purpose, and like certain purpose in the sense I would like to share my, as I mentioned in my earlier example, that if I have to share my space with the world so that they can utilize it, and like similar to Gmail, right? So if I have to share my information space with the world so that they can utilize my server, that is one type of model. If I want to share it within my organization, that is another type of model. So like that. Okay, so there are, in those cells there are four ways, four types, four categories. Okay, what are those? It has basically categories in terms of, it is more like a strategy. Okay, deployment strategy. So what are those? Public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud models. So these are all models. Okay, public cloud model, private cloud model, community cloud model, hybrid cloud. So let's see what this is all about. Okay, so public cloud model. Okay, it's not written. Okay, fine. So public cloud model, you can think of it. There are two ways we can share our resources on cloud, right? One is via the system, which I told you as the hard drive, and another one will be the services. Services in terms of, let's say I have built something and I'm trying to share it with the world, right?
Sorry,
So
Shan, for
system,
disturbing in between. Just
yeah.
tell me what is deployment method means what?
Deployment method means how it's basically the strategy, how you are utilizing the cloud. Okay. So deployment is nothing like you will be deploying something. It's not like that. The terminology basically means how you are utilizing the cloud. Okay. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Let me
Got it.
explain. Let me explain it. Then you will be more clear. Okay. I will give some examples as well. That way it will be more clear. So there are two ways, two things we are sharing over the cloud. One is system, like the resources, like hard drive and all. Another one is the services, services in terms of share, like building one software, sharing it with the world, like that. Okay. So system and services. Now, what is public cloud model? Public cloud model is where you are sharing your system and services with a broader public. Okay. Now, for example, you can take as Google App Engine or Amazon EC2. Okay, those are public examples of public cloud model. Similarly, for private cloud model, it is where you are sharing your system and services within a business. Okay, and utilizing, like within a particular organization, this cloud model will be used. So this one you can, and it can be managed internally within that business or within that team, or it can be outsourced to a third party to manage. That is like managing that private model. But as an example, you can think of it like, I don't know whether you guys know about VMware. There is a VMware software which can be used, right? So they share their system and resources within the, like, organization wise, they will share it. And there is another called as Amazon VPC. Okay, so these are the two examples of private. Now coming to the third one, community cloud model. So community cloud model is basically where several businesses pool their resources and share and utilize within them. Okay. So you can think of this as an example in the research field. Community cloud model is mainly used in research field. So what happens in research field? Like let's say if somebody is researching on something and want to publish a paper, they will be sharing it within their group itself, like within the research industry itself, right? So that is what is mainly used for community cloud models. And the fourth one is hybrid model. So hybrid model, as the name suggests, it's a hybrid. And what type of hybrid is that? It is a hybrid between public cloud and private cloud model. Okay, both. So public cloud model plus private cloud model equals to hybrid cloud model. So public cloud model is basically used for sharing the non-critical activities, and private cloud model is basically used for crucial operations. Now, this one we are mostly familiar with. So Gmail and Netflix, right? Those are the what to say, the examples of hybrid cloud model, because in Netflix or in Gmail, you will see you have your own space, right? Which is acting as a private cloud model, as well as there is a sharing space which can be used as a, because you can share your resources with the, like if you want to share your Google Drive link to somebody else, that also you can share. So all those things can become considered as a public cloud. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay, I will go ahead. In case if you have any questions, no, I have provided my, first of all, you can always provide over the chat whatever you have queries. I will look into it like at later point of time. I will answer that. If I'm unable to answer that, I will go back and come back to you next day and provide you the answers to that. Okay. And second point is I have also provided my mail ID over this chat window. You can take it out. I mean, take a note of it. And if you have any doubt going forward, just mail me if I'm not available.
Ishan, what is the use of hybrid cloud? If private is there, public is there, so why they make hybrid cloud?
So hybrid cloud, let's say there might be use cases where certain type of information we don't want to share with. So public is specifically where you are sharing with the whole world, right? There is nothing private about it. And private is where you are not sharing with the whole world, but within a team. But there might be certain scenarios or use cases where you have to share certain resources with the within the team and certain resources with the outside world. So it depends on the scenario wise, right? So Gmail, what you do in Gmail, you don't share everything with the outside world, right? You will be having your own Gmail account. You will be using it for interaction within your team or within your circle, right? Or if you are applying for a job and getting a response, so that is considered as a circle within your purview, within your and what to say, within your area, right? So you are interacting with them. But let's say if you have to share with certain resources with the team, or if you want to utilize it to yeah, it's more about sharing. So let's say if you're sharing with the team in terms of Gmail perspective, then also you can do it, right? You can have a sharing link and you can share that resource. So once you're, let's say if you're sharing one resource and that other person is accessing that resource, right? So what is happening? It is basically uh, it is basically accessing your system, your Gmail account, Google Drive, to access your Google Drive space to access that information. Correct? So let's say after this call, after this meeting, I will be sharing you the notes over my Google Drive. Okay, I will share you one link and you open it and you will see the notes whatever I have written. So where is that note stored? It is stored in my Google Drive, right? But you are able to access it from your system. You are not storing it in your Google Drive, right? If you go to your Google Drive, it will be opened as a shared with me in that section, right? So it's not storing in your system, but it's storing in the my system, but you are able to access it. So it's basically on a use case basis. If your use case or if your scenario demands that nothing needs to be shared with the outside world and it needs to be within your organization, then we go for private. If your use case or if your scenario demands that you want to share it with the public, all the data, then you go for that public cloud model. And if you have a use case wherein, like Gmail, I told you, no, even OTT platforms like Hotstar or Netflix, certain resources will be specific to you, certain resources will be shared with the whole world. Like, is it clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, great. Okay, so after this comes the service models of cloud computing. So what type of services cloud computing provides? Okay, okay, let's go by the definition. Cloud computing is a technique of accessing information and programs through the internet rather than developing, administering, and maintaining them on your drive or server. It is a simple, quick, and secure way to use. There are three types of cloud service models. One is software as a service, one is platform as a service, another one is infrastructure as a service. So, what are those? Software as a service, right? So, I mentioned in my earlier slide that there are two types of ways to share, right? One is with the help of the system, like the resources what you are sharing, another one is the service, right? So in that context, Sales software as a service, which is in short form of SaaS, software as a service. So as the name suggests, it's basically an organization sharing their software to the world. Okay, it's like a method of distributing programs as a service. Okay, so right now we are using we are using GoToMeeting to interact with each other, right? So what is doing at the back end? GoToMeeting is a company, right? So they have developed a software called GoToMeeting, and they are sharing it with the world, right? And we are using that software to interact with each other. So that is an example of software as a service. GoToMeeting you can take, WebEx you can take, so those are all software as a service. And later point of time when we will learn about Salesforce, there is a term called Salesforce.com. Okay, so Salesforce is the company. There are in terminology wise, there is Salesforce.com, there is Force.com. You will hear about it a lot once you are into the industry. You will hear that this is Force.com, this is Salesforce.com. So what is the difference? Salesforce is Salesforce, right? So it's basically a way to tell you that Salesforce.com means Salesforce is providing these services as a software. Like, as I mentioned in my demo class as well, there is a like a sales cloud, service cloud, community cloud, marketing cloud. So those are all provided as a software by the Salesforce. Okay, so Sales Cloud is what, as the name suggests, it will provide features by Salesforce like as a software that you can utilize to uh, go about with your sales process in the system, like that. Okay, so that is we will get into that later, don't worry about it. Sales Cloud, what is sales and service, we will look into this later. But yeah, that is what it is. For now, just understand that GoToMeeting, WebEx, they are sharing their software to us, and that is what is software as a service. Okay. Next comes PaaS. What is that? Platform as a service. Now, what does this mean? So, if you might have heard about the term runtime environment, right? So that is nothing but the PaaS, platform as a service. So what it is basically providing a platform for the developers to develop their applications. Okay, like creating the application, then testing it out, then running that if it is working correctly or not, right? And then deploying it. Deploying it means that you are making it go to the outside world. Like once you are satisfied with whatever you have developed, after that only you will be providing it to the outside world to access it, right? So that is like we will deploy it. The terminology is deployment. So we will cover that as well in our Salesforce. From a Salesforce perspective, deployment is generic to any type of coding which we do. So we will cover that as well once we are doing Salesforce. But for now, just understand platform as a service means any organization which is providing platform, okay, for you or as a developer or as an for developing certain applications for the programmers, then testing it out, then after testing, running that particular application over a collected group of people and then deploying it to the outside. That is platform as a service. And from Salesforce terminology, force.com, if you hear the term force.com, that is nothing but platform as a service. Okay, Salesforce.com means software as a service, force.com means platform as a service. These are very minute things which will not be that much needed, but it's good to know, right? So if somebody in your interaction tells you, have you used force.com, then you will know, okay, he's talking about Salesforce as a platform when they're providing platform as a service, right? So that, and there is also Google App Engine which acts as a PAS. Okay, fine. Now third is IaaS. What is that? Infrastructure as a service. As the name suggests, it is about sharing the infrastructure by an organization. It's like virtual systems connected using internet, right? So some of the examples are Amazon ECS and Rockspace Cloud. So those basically provides the virtual systems where you can log in and install your own software, and you have your own desktop as per, right? So it's like they are providing as an end customer, not end customer. It's as an organization, they are providing you with a with your own desktop experience, right? You can install your software, you can do anything you want on that particular virtual machine. So that is like infrastructure as a service. Okay. So point to be noted, Salesforce does not provide infrastructure as a service. They only provide software as a service and platform as a service. Okay. So this is about the service model. Any questions on this? Okay, I will go ahead. Virtualization in cloud computing. What is this? Virtualization is a technique which allows sharing of a single physical instance of an application or resource among multiple organizations or tenants. Okay, tenants means customers. In simple words, every tenant will be accessing virtually isolated platforms but actually utilizing the same physical resource. So what does this mean? Let's take an example to think about it. Okay, so we will take example of Google Drive only, right? So Google Drive, when we are using to upload our documents, or Google Photos, if we are uploading our photos in that, what we are generally doing, we are, as I mentioned earlier, we are utilizing a Google server or a Google hard drive, you can think, and storing our information there. But is it only, are we the only one who is utilizing a hard drive for that Google Drive? No, right? I mean, Google will not provide to it billions and billions of customers. Each of them, they will not provide a single hard drive to store, right? That is not physically or practically, um, like it's not practical that they will share each one with their own hard drive. What they will do, they will have a very huge amount of space, like they will have a hard drive with a huge amount of space, and they will give access to all the users, or certain number of users, based on their architecture, that this many users can share this particular um, hard drive. Okay, and once they are sharing that, so they will have a way to isolate, because you will not be, if me and you are storing, let's say for example, me and you are storing our information in the same hard drive, you will not be able to access my information or my documents, my photos, and neither I will be able to access it. So how does that structure, that architecture, or that technique, how they are segregating the users within the same hard drive, accessing the same hard drive with their own documents or pictures, that technique is known as virtualization. And Salesforce also runs in a similar pattern. Since Salesforce is a sales you know cloud based platform, it also runs in the similar technology. Now this is done. So this is more about the cloud perspective, right? So first we learned about the what is cloud computing. Second, we learned about what type of cloud models are there based on the use cases or based on user needs, right? Third one, we talked about the services, how what type of services a cloud computing platform can provide us. Okay. And fourth one, we talked about virtualization, which is a technique allowing to share a single physical instance with multiple resources, means multiple customers. Okay, fine. After this, we will talk a bit about Salesforce and CRM basics. Okay. So before we learn Salesforce again, first is we learned about cloud, right? Second, we are going to learn about CRM and then with Salesforce, because these are all related to each other. So what is CRM? CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So what does the terminology means? It's on the name itself, right? Customer Relationship Management. How you are maintaining your relationship with customer, how you are, how you can enhance your interaction with the customers, right? So that is called customer relationship management. Because if you just think about it, any business which runs, who is their main target, or who will give them the more profits or revenues? It will be the end customers only, right? Because let's say if I'm building one product and that product is in the market, and customers are not using that product, then it makes no sense if I'm having a good management in my team, or if I'm having good tools to support I mean uh, support that technology and all, right? So that doesn't make sense until and unless we have a good relationship with the management or customers, right? If customers come to my platform, they are not satisfied, they go away, that is not good, right, for any business. So the main important thing in any business is how to maintain a relationship with customers. So as the definition says, CRM is a technology for managing all your company's relationships and interaction with customers and potential customers, right? Potential customers, just a heads up, potential customers in Salesforce terminology is known as leads. Okay, we will talk about it when we talk about Sales Cloud, but they are called as leads. Okay, fine. So yeah, this is customer relationship management. So it's a technology for managing all your company's relationships. So Salesforce, if I go to the next slide, what is it? Salesforce is a cloud-based software company that provides businesses with tools that help them find more prospects, close more deals, and provide a higher level of service to their customers. Okay? So Salesforce is nothing but it's a CRM tool. Okay, it's a CRM cloud-based tool. Cloud we know, CRM we know, and if we are and Salesforce is just works on this ground itself. So it's a CRM tool. Whatever features it provides, whatever platform it provides, the whole intention of it is to make the customer interaction uh, smoother. Okay, so customer can come in different stages, right? For let's say when we are before we launch a product, we will do a marketing of that product, right? So when we are marketing that product, we will have a certain customer base, so that we will be utilizing that features or what features will help to enhance that part of marketability that Salesforce will provide in Marketing Cloud. Then there is a feature for sales, right? Once it is launched, it will go for sales. So once the sales is there, how to increase the sales, what ways, what features needs to be there, those are also provided by Salesforce in Sales Cloud. Third one is the, let's say, services. So once we have sold our product, there will be services, right? As I give an example like Amazon. So if you are buying certain products, we ordered certain products, it is not as per our whatever we have ordered, then we will contact them, right? We'll contact Amazon support service and they will help us resolve the issue. So the interaction with me to the Amazon support center, that is important, right? I don't know whether you have noticed, if any software if you have used apart from Amazon or anywhere, and if your interaction with that particular platform is not good, right? So generally what we tend to think, we will not be using that product, that is not satisfactory, although the product might be good sometimes, but if the support is not good, that also ends business, loses customers. Some of the businesses loses customer from there as well. So service is also important, so that Salesforce also provides certain features to make that smoother interaction, right? So sometimes what happens, if you will notice that whenever we call, they will already know about our phone number, they will already know like what orders we have placed at last time and all. So how they know that? So at the back end, what is happening is once we call, system like the features which provides will already provide those information to the support agent. Okay, they will have a pop-up window open or something like that on that sense, and they will be able to see our information. Okay, and based on that, before we tell anything, they will only guide us. Okay, this is your number, this is something which is there, like that, right? Because every time if we call and they take our information, that will not be good, that will be time consuming, because our main intention is to complain about the product, not about providing details about this, right? So just a overview, like that is Service Cloud. That type of features are provided by Salesforce as well. Okay, so this is Salesforce. Any questions till now? We will now go to force.com and environments. Force.com, as I mentioned, it's a platform where we can develop things, right? Even force.com will have the salesforce.com. It's a force dot like salesforce.com, you can think of it as a subset of force.com. Okay, force.com is a platform, and in that platform also you will get the softwares like the sales service and all. And after that, uh, we can build on top of that, right? Because Salesforce will provide its features. Salesforce will provide a basic, like how a generic sales process works, but every business has its own strategy, right? So we can build on top of that. So that is why force.com and the salesforce.com is a subset of force.com. Right. So any questions till now? What is CRM? What is Salesforce? Okay, fine. So let's go to force.com and environments. Okay. So Force.com is a powerful platform as a service tool that helps develop and deploy cloud-based websites and applications. Okay, so you are already aware of what is platform as a service. So Force.com is that. Now there are three types of Salesforce environments. Okay. First is the production environment. Second one is the development environment. Third one is the testing environment. So let's go one by one. Production environments have active paying users accessing business critical data. Okay, we will take Amazon as an example here. So whatever we are seeing, right, the apps, whatever we are downloading, or if we are going to the website and typing in www.amazon.in, right? So that is from Amazon's perspective, that is a production environment for them, because we as a customers are utilizing their platform to do the buying things, and for them that is the business, right? So that is a active users, we are the active users for them, and that is the production, that terminology or that environment is known as the production environment. So if something happens on the production environment, you can just think that like how much impact it will have for them, right? Even if for 5 minutes the production environment is down, the business will lose lot of money, right? Because active users are involved. If we as an end users are not able to buy something from the Amazon platform even for 5 minutes because of server down, then that is a very bad thing, right? Sometime back it happened like in Twitter, uh, the environment got down, right? This couple of months or year back, it got down for certain number of time. So that created a huge impact. Those are production environments. Whatever we are seeing as a website, those are production environments for those companies. Okay. Next comes the development environment. So what is development environment? It is where you can extend, integrate, and develop on force.com without affecting production environment. So do you think that whatever the development is done, that is done directly on the production environment? No, right? Because what happens if something code, whatever we have written is something breaking the existing code or existing functionality? If we are doing directly in the production environment, then it will impact the active users, right? And that we do not want as a business. So what we will do, or any businesses, what they do is they will have a development environment first setup. So development environment will be an extension of the production environment. Okay, it's an extension of the production environment where as a developer we can do the development activities, we can develop more features on that. So let's say now you are joining Amazon and you have a feature associated, Amazon Pay. Okay, let's take Amazon Pay as an example. Previously, Amazon Pay was not there. It was simply a grocery list and we are interacting by paying with credit card or net banking, right? Later point of time, Amazon Pay came into picture. So how they did it? The design or the development was done first in the development environment. They developed the Amazon Pay and checked all the functionalities, whether it is working or not, right? So testing environments can also be considered as development environments which are specifically used for testing application, right? So let's go one by one. So development environment, I hope you got it. So it's basically an extension of production environment where we as a developer will develop our system, like Amazon Pay is getting developed. Once that is developed, it has to go to another environment. Okay, there will be another environment which is known as testing environment. It's similar to development environment only, but we are using that environment specifically for testing, right? Again, what happens, development is a continuous process, right? So let's say Amazon Pay has been, development is completed. Now something else is being developed on top of that. right? On top of that means any other features might also get developed, right? Amazon might come up with certain other features later point of time. We don't know, but it is getting developed. So if we are testing and developing in the same environment, that again creates a problem, right? Because we will not be sure as to exactly if an issue occurs, whether that issue occurred because of the development what we did for the particular software, like in our example Amazon Pay, or is it because of certain other issues which comes along with developing new features, right, which might not be related. So it's always a good practice to have a testing environment separately and a development environment separately, so that each can do their own work, and then once all are done we can move that to the, if everything is stabilized, we can move that to the production environment. It's not like in production environment you will not get issues. You might get issues, right? But that will be very minimal. That will be something which is maybe due to some data issues or something like that. If we have done development and testing properly, so in production hardly there will be very very minimal issue that can be fixed, right? We might not be aware because in these two environments, development and testing, there is no active users involved, right? So there is certain differences, but more or less this is what the environments are. Okay, the testing environment I already mentioned. Data modeling in Salesforce. So before this, any questions on the environments? So in Salesforce, no, we call this testing development environments as sandboxes. Okay? We call this as sandboxes. And production environment anyhow is called as production. Any questions on this? No, right? Okay, fine. So we will go to data modeling in Salesforce. Before we go to data modeling, right? There is a you can sign up for a developer account. So you just have to write developer Salesforce sign up. I will give you this notes, don't worry. So even if in Google, if you search for developer Salesforce sign up, you will get this link. Okay, first link you will get developer edition sign up. So it's basically it's a organization or a platform where you can do your own research, R&Ds and all. Okay, once and but the only downside is all the features will be available more or less, like whatever is needed for learning purpose, everything will be available. The downside is only that the space constraint. Okay, because if it is given for free, right, so you will have a less number of spaces in that. So this is for development. Now if you want to use, okay, no, I want to use only if I want to get the features of Salesforce and all, right? Sorry, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud and all, that has a separate platform, but that is a time limit, like for 30 days only you will get an overview. But for our learning purpose, since we will be using learning the admin as well as development, right? So we will use this one, uh, this platform to do all the steps. Okay. So what I told you, first you have to log in developer site salesforce.com. The first one which will come up, you just have to click on it. This form will appear where you need to give your first name, last name. It need not be your first name, last name. It can be anything. Email address needs to be mandatory because once you have signed up, once you have role also, you can give anything. That is, these are all something which you can give anything, but email needs to be correct. It needs to be a valid one. Okay, and username needs to be a it needs to be a unique one, right? So if somebody, if let's say I have given my name as Amit at the rate salesforce.com. Okay, so if there is another user who has already created a username with Amit at the rate salesforce.com, I will not be able to use it. Let's give it. This is a very generic name. So let's say I'm just giving random values. I will not create anything. So I'm just giving random values here. Now if I do sign up, yeah, you see You are already using that username in another Salesforce login credential. Your username needs to be unique and in the form of a email address, right? So it has to be in the form of an email address. In the form, like format has to be email address. You can even give your xyz.com. That is also fine, but the format needs to be like an email address. Okay, so it has to be unique and in email format has to be email address. The only part which you need to keep in mind is the email part should be valid one. Okay, so once you are done with everything, right, and once you click on sign me up, you will get a mail like this. Thank you for signing up with Salesforce. Verify your account. This is your URL and this is your username. Okay, so this is a customized URL. You can use this one or you can use login.salesforce.com. This is also fine. Ideally in business, right, in like whenever you're going into any project, login.salesforce.com denotes production environment. Okay, and testing environment or development environment are accessible using test.salesforce.com. Okay, this is for sandboxes, development or this one, testing environment, but for us it will be login only. Okay? It's more like a production environment. Okay, so since I have already logged in with my username, it is showing like this. But once you click on this verify account, no, it will ask you to create your own password, some security questions, and all those things. It will ask you, and once you are done with that, it will log into your system. And once you are logged in, you will be able to see a page like this. You will be able to see a page like this. Okay.
So we can make a application through test environment and we can see our changes in the production environment.
No, no.
Is it like
For
that?
for mm, I mean, in a project, if you are in a project, that is the way what you are telling. That is correct. But since we are learning, we do not have that connection. We will not have multiple logs connected with each other, right? So generally, what happens, I will tell you. Um, so this gear icon, what we have now in the top right, there is a gear icon, right? This gear icon is known as setup. This is where all the point and click functionalities are provided. So here there is a concept called a sandbox. Here you will not find it, but if you are into a project or and if it is a production environment, you will find a sandbox here. Okay? Here, once we search for it or look into it,
You
here
are
you
in
will not
project
find
means what? I mean, which projects
project
were
means no project in the sense when you are into any company and you are working for that company, right? So they will be having their own set of requirements to analyze, right? Like let's say if you have joined Amazon, Amazon will have its own testing environments and production environments. I'm talking about that. So they will have their internal projects which needs to be used. For us, it is not any project. It is basically we will be dealing with only this website. Is it clear?
yeah, got it.
Yeah. So just think of it in simple terms. Like we will be using this platform to do our learning. That's it. So we will not have any sandboxes here.
Sir,
In
sir, can you please tell me one more time about the website, please, sir?
Login dot yeah, you have to go to you just search it developer Salesforce sign up. You will get the first link. You click on it. You will get this form. Email address needs to be a valid one. Once you provide all the details and sign up, you will receive an email like this. Once you receive an email, you need to click on this verify account. You will be popped up with for me it will not come, but for you it will be like providing passwords for the first time, what password you need to use. And once that is provided, you will be logged in. And from the next
Okay.
time, so let's say if I'm going to incognito mode, login.salesforce.com, and go either I can go to this login.salesforce.com or I can go to this path. But this path is a bit long, right? So it's not easy to remember. So I will give this username, whatever you have provided during sign up, right? Here you have provided the username, right? It's the same username which we will be using. So you will provide here the username and we will provide here our password, whatever we have given.
Okay. So developer salesforce.com, sir.
Yeah, developer.salesforce.com, developer.salesforce.com. After that, sign up. Inside that, sign up. Okay. I will provide you that note. Don't
Okay. Thank you, sir.
worry. So for now, just keep it simple. This is similar to a production environment wherein we will be just developing out. We are not sharing. This is for our learning only, right? Salesforce provided this platform for learning, so we will not be sharing with the outside resources. And if you see, there is a storage users. There is a storage users. Here you can see all the details, like how much space for data. They have only provided 5 MB, right? More than 5 MB we cannot use. And see, this is a new org I have created and already 6% is utilized. So there is very limited amount of resource we can do it, but all the features are provided, so you can play around with it. Yeah, fine. So
It is a developer edition. That's why we can't see that testing in sandboxes, right? Because of editions in companies real time they purchase entertainment
yes,
they
licenses,
get license
licenses. Correct.
enterprises professional editions like that they can
Right.
see that, right? Oh,
Exactly, exactly. So ideally they will be provide purchasing license. Salesforce works on subscription based model, right? How it is like how we use the OTT platforms, no, subscription wise. Similarly, Salesforce also does it business like that. So first of all, whether if I'm subscribing to Salesforce technology, I will be buying their subscription, let's say for 1 year. And after 1 year, if I see that Salesforce is helping my business to grow, then I will continue with Salesforce. Otherwise, I will have the option of even discontinuing it after that, after 1 year, right? Even for storage, whatever storage is provided for Salesforce, we can even go on top of that and have more storage on that. So that is how this system works. And next is company information, what you were telling about licenses and all, right? So it works about the licenses. Subscription is more about the license. It's correlated. Okay. So if you see here, organization edition, it's all about this company information, means it's all about this org, what this org is about. Okay. So if you see, my name is coming here, organization name is coming here, whatever details you provide, right? The default time zone, what time zone this organization will operate on, right? So that is coming here. Then all the details like instance AP27. So if you remember in our slide, we have this virtualization, right? So AP27 is nothing but the name of that server which this organization is, or this this, we can tell this as an organization only, uh, or the website which is hosted on. Okay, so AP27 is that. And organization edition is developer edition, and for the production it will be production edition, like that. Okay. And if you see the licenses is not required for us, it's but just know about in terms of the like let's say Salesforce has two licenses. That means I can create two users with the same license. Okay. Salesforce integration one license. That means I can only integrate with one user, one third party system, like that. Okay. All the things are not required for you. Even we don't, as a when we are working with the companies, right? We don't use most of them, like for XOR proxy users, work.com users. These are very having specific use cases, so we don't use more of that. We will generally use community cloud license, right? Salesforce license, all these things we will be using. but that is not required as of now. You don't have to worry about that. Just let's learn about the admin and this one we can you can just once you are into any project, no? I mean once you're into any company. I'm always talking about project, but that is like more in terms of the companies. When you're working for any company, that time if required you can know, but that will not be useful in your case. Just having good to know, it's a good to know feature. Like Salesforce works on a subscription based model, and it's licenses which provides that part of how many users can use that part of features. So Salesforce license provides specific functionalities to the users. Like if user I'm creating, I will be associating a license to that user. Okay? So that license will provide certain kind of functionalities which will be available to that users. Similarly, all other licenses, they have its own features. Okay, fine. Here also you can see that API request. API request means how many during integration, how many requests you are sending to the third party, all those things. So the details, all the details you will find it here. And if you have to deactivate, like how we do for Netflix and all the other OTT platforms, right? We can sign out or we can delete, deactivate the talk. Similarly, Salesforce also provides a way to deactivate. So this also you can do. Fine. So let's not go deep into that because that is not required. What is the time now? It's 8:40. Okay, so this one, let's do it tomorrow. Okay, this data modeling in Salesforce because it's a bit large topic. So we will go for this tomorrow. Okay, today let's keep it till this point. Any questions? Let me know.
Ishan, my actually my first question should be like how long this course will be.
Around 2 months because we will be having admin and development both, right? So around 2 months you can give or take.
So we will get the both the environment to access or making application, or we have to create our own.
So there is no, so we will be, so admin and development can be done in single environment.
Okay.
Okay. So there is no separate environments for both. You just have to create this this one, the link which the way
What
I
you have
told you, no?
given. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have given.
So once, yes. Yes. So here only we will do all the admin part. Admin part means point and click, whatever is there, as well as the development part. So both will can be done here. There is no need for any other organization. I mean, the name is developer edition, but in developer edition, it consists of admin. So if we have to be a good developer, no, we also had to know what features are already provided by Salesforce. Until and unless we know what features are provided by Salesforce, we will not be able to properly utilize it, right? So let's say we have a use case wherein we are asked to create a field. Okay, so if we don't, there are two ways. One way is to point and click. We will go to that. We will create it using point and click. Another one is using code, right? But if if a functionality is already provided by Salesforce, that way we can utilize it, right? So features which are provided by Salesforce, we should be aware of that so that we can utilize that feature first. If it is not um, if it is not being covered by that feature, then we will build on top of it. It's like that. So
And one
development
more,
and
yeah, one more thing you told like this gives a very less space, even that if we want to try like a 5G,
no,
5 mg.
500, but that is sufficient. That is sufficient for learning. 5 MB data is sufficient because I have used developer edition for doing my R&D works, right? So that is more than sufficient for you during your learning phase. That is fine. That won't be an issue. And let's say worst case scenario, if you have uploaded or if you have utilized all the resource, you have the option of creating another environment, right? You can use that environment.
Okay,
But
we can create the different environment with the different ID, and we can
yes,
use
yes,
them.
as many environments you can create with the same email address,
Okay.
but username has to be unique.
Okay.
But all the environments, whatever you will create, that will not be related to each other. That will be
Okay.
again a separate fresh environment. But not needed. I mean, one org is okay. So whatever storage is there given, no, that is fine. That is not an issue.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, is there any coding related to this Salesforce, sir?
Yes, yes, definitely. So Salesforce has its own language, Apex. It is called as Apex. It is similar. If you know about Java, it is 80% similar to Java, but
Okay,
it
sir.
has its
Thank
own language. Even it has its own query. Like we will go into that, but it has its own way of querying data. Like we have SQL, right, in
you. Okay.
Oracle database and all. Similarly, Salesforce has SOQL. Similar, something
Okay.
similar. So we have coding involved.
What coding will be, sir?
If I tell you now, you will not understand. But it
Okay.
will be, yeah, it will have front and back and both. It will have
Okay. Sir, told Apex or something.
Apex, huh? Apex. Apex is the language. Like Java is a language, Apex is a language.
Okay.
APEX. Don't
Thank
worry,
you.
Bharat. We will be covering that in details from scratch. We will cover starting from data type, what type of data type is supported, and everything we will cover. Okay? Don't worry.
Okay.
But that will be after admin. So admin part we will first cover, and then we will cover, because if we directly go into development, and if you don't know admin, it will not be useful in terms of understanding, right, what is there, what is not.
Okay.
Sir, what is the difference between AWS and Salesforce?
Difference means both are similar in terms of providing the services to the companies, right? But AWS has its own features. It's on Amazon Web Services, right? So it has its own features, own use cases which can be used. Salesforce is more concentrated on providing the sales part, service parts, marketing part, like more of a CRM use case, right? AWS AWS is also similar, but it's different in terms of getting the details of the, like interacting the use cases with that. So it has its own way, right?
Okay.
Like all the cloud platforms are similar in terms of how they are providing their services. Like if you ask me what is the difference between Google and, like what is the difference between Hotstar and Netflix? Both are same, right? But it's about how they are interacting with the users, how what content or what services they are providing, right? Okay, fine. So I will stop it here, and I will share you the notes, and once that is done, tomorrow we will start with the data modeling. How data modeling. Okay, let's start tomorrow. It's about how in Salesforce data are modeled, how they are kept in Salesforce. That one. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm dropping off now. Okay. Any questions? Just email me, or else tomorrow we will.
Okay, guys, the notes will be shared.
That one I will talk with my team and share with you guys. I have to ask them.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sir,
Yeah. Yes, Bharat.
can you please, sir, can you please drop your contact number in the chat box, sir?
Contact number I cannot give now, but email address I have dropped. That one you can use.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mail to me.trainer@gmail.com. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.